I got me tea. I got me biscuits. I'm ready.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, if you can't tell by the title, we are going to be playing with another Disney Princess palette. If you haven't seen my first video where I tested out the Belle collection, then I will link that either at the end of this video or in the description box down below in case you wanted to check it out. But in that video, I did test out the I Heart Revolution X Belle palette and like some of her collection. And in today's video, we're going to be playing with the Cinderella palette. So excited! If you watch my first video, then you'll know that from the Cinderella collection, I literally just picked up the palette because I didn't feel like I needed the lip gloss, I definitely didn't feel like I needed the lashes, and I didn't feel like I needed the highlighter. But if you have seen that video, then you'll know that this palette already has highlighters in it on this side and it already has blushes. So I'll be testing out the face palette as well as the eyeshadows today. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump straight on into it. Okay, so I'm going to swatch a few of the shades. As you guys know, I don't base my opinions on swatches. I pretty much say this every single time I swatch. Sorry, it must get annoying. I'm going to swatch a few of the eyeshadows. So as you can tell, this palette is very blue. There are some of the pops of colour. There's a pop of pink. There is like a taupe kind of colour. There's a like a brownie shade. It's like a dark brown. If you wanted to, you could get more of a neutral look with this palette, to be honest with you, because like I said, there is this like pumpkin shade here, and there is this dark brown here. There's not really many neutral shimmer shades. They're all quite like blue toned. I mean, there is this shade here, which is like a taupey kind of shade. Really pretty. By the way, guys, if you did watch my first video as well, you'll know how much everything is from the collection. But just a little reminder, this palette is £15, which I think is an absolute bargain considering you get 18 eyeshadows and then you get 6 face shades. I think that's really cool. Also, guys, there are 9 mattes in this palette and the rest are shimmers. When I did the Belle palette, there was only 8 mattes in that palette, so I do appreciate that there is one more extra matte in this palette. We all know that we love a good matte over here. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump straight on into the eye look. Okay, so I've literally just zoomed you guys in. I've primed my lids off camera. Okay, so from the palette, I think I'm going to do more of like a bluey look today. I mean, it only seems fitting that if you're using the Cinderella palette, you do a blue look. Just saying. Then I'm going to go into the first shade. I'm going to take the shade Midnight, which is this deep navy blue shade. And I'm going to start to like pack this. Just like through the crease like I usually would. Okay, so right off the bat, this palette doesn't look as dark on the lid as what it does in the pan, if that kind of makes sense. Like, as you can kind of see, this is very dark in the pan, but then on the lid, it's not that dark. Not a problem. I mean, it packs on really well. It is not patchy. There's not much fallout, to be honest. Well, actually, there's no fallout. Yes. There's no kick up in the pan. So yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm going to take the next shade. I'm going to take the shade Daydream, which is this like sky blue colour up here. And again, I'm going to start to blend out this dark blue shade with that. It's a really nice shade. Blends out that first shade beautifully. With a little bit of kick up in the pan, but no fallout so far. I'm then going to take the shade Fairy Godmother, which is like periwinkle blue shade here, and I'm going to blend obviously above the last shade we just used. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to build up each of these shades again, build them up, blend them out, basically just using the same shades we've just used. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease, and then we'll be back to do the lid shade together. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back. I literally, of course, just cut my crease. So far I'm really happy with the shades that I used. They all blended out really well together. They all look, you know, gorgeous, not patchy at all. Yeah, I'm really impressed. Now, moving on to the lid shade, I really don't know what to use. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take the shade Royal first, which is this beautiful, like, royal blue, literally. I'm going to pack that just next to where I've placed, it's like the edge of the cut crease, basically. It's a nice shade. It's not like super foiled or anything. It's literally just like a normal shimmer. Still really nice though. And then I'm going to go into the shade Ballgown, which is this beautiful blue shade here. I'm going to put that, like, obviously on the rest of my lid, pretty much. Ooh. That shade's really pretty. It's weird, it's not as firmly pressed as that royal shade. It's a bit more like kick up to it. Okay, then for my inner corner, I'm going to take one of the highlighter shades. I'm going to take the shade Bibbidi. I love this. I just have to mention this. It goes Bibbidi Boppidi Boo. And that's the 3 highlighter names. So cute. So I'm going to take the shade Bibbidi. And I'm going to put that on my inner corner. Just because there's no other like icy white shimmer shade on the eyeshadow side. That's really nice. I like that. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go do my eyes off camera, and then I'm going to do my base off camera, and then we're back to do the blusher and highlighters and test them out and see what they look like. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I literally just did the rest of my face off camera. On my lower lash line I pretty much used the same shades and just applied some more of that inner corner shade on. Okay, so moving on to obviously the face side of things, I am going to take the, for blush, I don't know what shade to take. I'm going to take the shade Dream is a Wish actually, which is this like lightest pink. Oh, it's there. That's really cute. It's very light, very light. So if you are of like a really fair complexion, and I mean like even fairer than me, I'm going to take a little bit of Happily Ever After as well, which is this like peachy shade here. I'm just going to put that on top just because that first shade that we used is quite light. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this on top. Yeah, that looks a bit better on me. The first shade that we used was so pale that like it barely showed up on my skin. It was there, but I like my blush to show, especially because I am so pale. I feel like without blush I look ill, like I look really ill. For highlighter, I don't know what shade to use because I feel like this shade is quite dark. So these are the 3 highlighters swatched just quickly on my finger. That's very white, as you can see. I take a little bit of Boo first, which is this gold tone at the bottom. And then if I need to use a little bit of that white shade, then I'll go in with that as well. It almost looks like it's got a bit of a pink tone to it. It's very subtle, this one though. I'm not even going to lie. Like, it's not very subtle, like you can still see it. However, I feel like it's subtle for me. It's got like a bit of a pinky tone to it, which is really weird because the individual highlighter for Cinderella is like an icy pink shade, like a duochrome shade. So yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of that Bibbidi shade, which is that bright kind of white shade, this one here, and I'm going to put a little bit of that on the top just to help like make it a little more glowy. As you guys know, I love a glowy highlighter, so yeah. Oh, that is more like it. Okay, so I do really like the Bibbidi shade, which is that white shade here. I really like that. I think it's definitely very glowy, very blinding. It's very much what I like. Boo, very subtle. Very subtle. I think it was a little bit dark for me as well. I'm just going to go ahead and finish off my lip, and then I'll be back to kind of give you guys my final thoughts. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay guys, this is the finished look. What do you guys think? I love it. I haven't done a blue look in a while, so it was needed, and it was needed by, of course, the Cinderella palette, 100%. So what do I think about the palette, you guys? I like it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I like it. So what do I think about the palette, you guys? Honestly, I'm actually really impressed. Let's go ahead and talk about the eyeshadows first. So obviously I used Midnight. The only thing I would say about this shade is it looks darker in the pan than when it is on the lid. I don't really know why that is. I don't know whether it's just not that pigmented. I'm not too sure, but still it packed on beautifully and it blended out beautifully. So I haven't got any problems with there. I then of course used Daydream, that blended out the Midnight shade really well. I then used Fairy Godmother, which again blended like an absolute dream. Yeah, and then of course for the shimmer shades I went in the shade Royal, which again packed on beautifully. Similar to when I used the Belle palette, it's not like a foiled shade, it's just like a normal shimmer, which is absolutely fine, nothing wrong with that. It still looks beautiful on the lid. I then used the shade Ballgown, which this shade is so pretty. Like, it packed on really well on the lid. It wasn't as like firmly pressed as that Royal shade, so it kind of like, I don't know, it just looked a bit more pigmented when I applied it on. It looks a little bit more like shiny, like shimmery, I guess. I don't know what the best word is to use. When it comes to the face side of things, again I used A Dream Is a Wish for my blush. It did pack on really well. It was a really pretty, however it was quite fair and quite pale. Like I said when I was applying it, I prefer like a blush that kind of stands out a little bit more. So I did go in with Happily Ever After as well, and that just topped it off beautifully. However, if you're very, very fair, like even fairer than me, this will still work for you and it still looks beautiful. All these shades, they're not like the ones I used in the Belle palette, they weren't that pigmented, and these are the same. Like, they're not super pigmented, but you can build them up to make them more pigmented, more bold, if that kind of makes sense. So I really do appreciate that. I think the shades are gorgeous and I'm really happy with the blush. I love a good blush. These do it. I'm impressed. When it comes to the highlighters, obviously of course I only used 2 of them. When I used Boo, it was really pretty. It's very subtle, but if you do like a subtle highlight, then you will really like that one. It just adds a nice little glow to the skin, like a glow from within kind of look, which is really nice. It does have a little bit of a pink undertone to it, which I didn't even know until like I kind of put it on and I was like, oh, so there's little pink like specks in there, which do really add to it and make it really pretty. But as you guys know, I love a blinding highlight. So of course I did go in with the Bibbidi on top, and that just made it more glowy, and yes, we all know I love a glowy highlight. Yeah, really impressed. No complaints whatsoever. I really like this palette. I love the shades in here. I think it's so fitting to Cinderella. I love it. absolutely love it. I 100% recommend this palette. If you were wanting to pick it up, grab it. £15 for 18 eyeshadows and 6 face powders is really good, a really good bargain. Of course, I will be doing another princess look using the Tiana palette, the Princess and the Frog palette. I am excited to use that as well. So yeah, if you like this video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as it would really help me out. Like I said before, I will be linking the Belle palette review down below and also at the end of this video, so you can go and check it out if you want to. As always, I'll be linking everything else I'm wearing down below on my face, so if you're interested, you can check it out. And of course, I'll be linking my social media handles above and also in the description box there, so you can go and check me out there if you want to. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!